got to be sweet.
No, definitely special. Special for me personally, I would say, because, it's nice coming back home, being in my home state and everything. So that's always fun to get a win against a division opponent on the road. It was a big win tonight. Good energy. It's a lot of fun to play in this environment. It was just cool. We came in, got the dub, and so we did our job. So you got to feel good for that.
You said this week it had to get better.
Yeah.
Offensively.
Yeah.
It certainly did against Night. They had 88 yards rushing.
What's good, Raider Nation? It's your boy, fired up, but a little worried as we dive into some serious Las Vegas Raiders news. Today, we're tackling the big question mark hanging over our defensive line. What's the deal with Christian Wilkins' injury? This is the story that's got every Raiders fan on edge, and I'm here to break it all down. Picture this. Our $110 million star defensive tackle, signed to wreak havoc alongside Max Crosby, is back in a walking boot. Yeah, you heard that right. A recent photo dropped, and it's got us all asking, has Wilkins hit another setback? The 2025 season is creeping closer, and this news is shaking things up. So what's really going on with our guy? The Raiders' offseason has been a roller coaster, and Wilkins' health is the biggest plot twist yet. From hopeful reports to this latest curveball, we're left wondering if our defensive anchor will be ready to roll. Raider Nation, how you holding up with this news? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk it out. Stick with me for 10 scenes as we unpack this saga, from Wilkins' injury history to the latest buzz and what it means for our silver and black. Let's dive into the drama and see if there's light at the end of this tunnel. Raider Nation, let's rewind to set the stage. Last offseason, the Las Vegas Raiders made a splash, signing Christian Wilkins to a 4-year, $110 million deal. This dude was supposed to be the missing piece next to Max Crosby, turning our defensive line into a nightmare for quarterbacks. We were hyped, and for good reason. Wilkins was a beast with the Dolphins, racking up 9 sacks in 2023. But 2024? Man, it was rough. Wilkins played just 5 games before a Jones fracture in his foot shut him down. He still managed 2 sacks and 17 tackles, showing flashes of why we paid him the big bucks. That injury, though, has been haunting us ever since. You remember how good we felt when he went down, Raider Nation? The hope was that Wilkins would be back to full strength by now, ready to dominate in 2025. Early reports had us thinking he'd be good to go for training camp. But this latest update, it's got us sweating. What's the one thing you want to see from our D-line this year? Let me know below. We're just getting started, so let's zoom in on the bombshell that dropped this week and why it's got everyone talking. Hold up, Raider Nation. Here's where things get dicey. On June 24th, 2025, a photo surfaced from Kyle Van Noy's charity golf event. And guess who's in it? Our man Christian Wilkins, rocking a walking boot on that same left foot he injured last year. Shout out to the Athletics Tash and Reed for sharing it on X. But man, this ain't the update we wanted. That Jones fracture from October 2024 was supposed to be in the rearview mirror. Wilkins had surgery, and by the end of last season, he was out of the boot, giving us hope. But seeing him back in one? That's a red flag. Raider Nation, what's your gut telling you about this? Is this just precaution, or something worse? Nobody's saying for sure why Wilkins is booted up again. Could be part of his rehab plan, or maybe, fingers crossed it's not this, he's hit a setback. The timing's brutal, with training camp just weeks away. You think Wilkins is going to be ready for week 1? Or are we in for more bad news? Let's keep digging, because there's talk about what might have gone wrong and what it means for a star DT. Raider Nation, let's talk about the setback rumors swirling around Wilkins. According to Vincent Bonsignori of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, there's a chance Wilkins either broke the screw in his foot or re-fractured the bone during rehab. That's the kind of news that makes your stomach drop, right? But Bonsignori's also saying the team's hopeful he'll be back by August. Here's the deal. Jones fractures are tricky. They can take forever to heal, and sometimes they just don't cooperate. Wilkins missed OTAs and mandatory minicamp, which Coach Pete Carroll called a long and challenging recovery process. That's not exactly the confidence booster we needed. What's the toughest injury news you've dealt with as a Raiders fan? The Raiders were banking on Wilkins to anchor the interior line, freeing up Max Crosby to feast on QBs. Without him, our defense takes a hit, 17 tackles and 2 sacks in 5 games last year showed what he can do. So, Raider Nation, are you staying optimistic or bracing for the worst? There's more to this story, including some chatter about surgery that's got us all spooked. Let's dive into that next. All right, Raider Nation, here's where it gets scary. There's buzz, mostly from Mitchell Renz on Chat Sports Raiders report, that Wilkins might need another surgery. If that happens, some say he could miss the entire 2025 season. Now, hold up. This hasn't been confirmed by any major insiders, so let's not hit the panic button yet. But it's got us on edge. Renz claims his source says Wilkins doesn't want the surgery, but the Raiders' medical team is pushing for it to avoid long-term damage. That's a tough spot for a guy who's only 29 and wants to prove his worth after that massive contract. Raider Nation, what would you do in Wilkins' shoes? Drop your take in the comments. If this surgery talk is true, it's a gut punch. Wilkins was supposed to be our defensive cornerstone, and missing another season would sting bad. His $110 million deal was a bet on his durability, but he's only missed 2 games before 2024 in 5 years with Miami. You think this is just bad luck? We're halfway through, but let's see what Coach Carroll's saying about this whole mess. Raider Nation, let's hear from the man in charge, Pete Carroll. Back in May, our head coach didn't sugarcoat things. He told ESPN's Ryan McFadden that Wilkins isn't ready to return and is in the middle of a long and challenging process. But he also said, we've got time before the season starts. That's Pete keeping it real, right? Carroll's not one to spill all the tea, so we're left reading between the lines. The fact that Wilkins was still sidelined during minicamp in June tells us this ain't a quick fix. But the Raiders are planning like he'll be back, targeting August for his return. You buying that timeline, Raider Nation? The silver and black need Wilkins to pair with Crosby and make life hell for opposing offenses. Without him, guys like Adam Butler and rookie Jonah Laulu will have to step up, and that's a tall order. What's your confidence level in our D-line if Wilkins isn't 100%? Let's shift gears and talk about what this means for our defense as a whole. Buckle up, Raider Nation. Let's zoom out and look at the big picture. The Las Vegas Raiders defense was supposed to be a strength in 2025, with Wilkins and Crosby leading the charge. But with Wilkins' status up in the air, we're staring at some serious question marks. Our pass rush was top 10 last year, but losing our star DT could change that fast. Wilkins' impact, even in just 5 games, was real. 2 sacks, 6 QB hits, and constant pressure up the middle. He's the kind of player who makes everyone else better, especially Crosby, who's now the highest-paid non-QB in the NFL. Without Wilkins, teams can double-team Max, and that's a problem. Raider Nation, who's your pick to step up if Wilkins is out? The Raiders have depth with guys like Adam Butler, who's coming off a career year, and young bucks like Jonah Laulu. But they're not Wilkins-level disruptors. Some reports even suggest the team's looking at free agents as a backup plan. You think we need to sign someone now? A season without Wilkins means more pressure on Crosby, Butler, and the young guys. Our run defense, which was middle of the pack last year, could struggle, and that's bad news in a division with beasts like the Chiefs. Raider Nation, how worried are you about our defense if Wilkins is sidelined? The flip side? If Wilkins avoids surgery and returns by September, he could still be the game changer we signed. His track record, only 2 missed games before 2024, shows he's tough as nails. You think he's got the grit to bounce back? One more scene to go, and we're wrapping this up with a bold prediction and a call to action. Yo, if you're as hyped or stressed as I am, smash that like button, drop your thoughts below, and subscribe for more Raiders updates. Share this with your crew, and let's keep the faith for 2025. Raider Nation, we out here.